24, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. All the people joining us from YouTube, our Spotify, iTunes. Thank you guys for joining us. Ladies, it's been a rough week. How are we doing?
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. We have so much to talk about.
Yeah, we've definitely seen better days. I don't even know where we're gonna start. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. I feel like we had a really rough day, and I think her experience is something we can all learn from and prepare ourselves for all the crazies that are out here right now. It's the summer, and I feel like during the summer, it's hot, and people just aren't thinking rationally, and there's a lot of what is it called, transients.
Like people walking around the streets.
Yeah.
I think it's just this like, it's a weird funk. I think we talked about it last time. It's like, everything's opening back up. People are going out. There's a lot of mixed emotions. There's things that are going on that we don't understand or that we don't see. There's social pressure. There's bills. There's people without jobs. There's all kinds of things going on in this world right now, and it's super difficult to I think to understand it. And I mean, I think we can all put on everybody else's shoes and be like, oh, this is the way that things should be done. But man, I think we're starting to realize that everybody has their own, their own vision of what their life needs to go to, and they don't care about anybody else.
Yeah.
They don't care about what they make anybody, like a person feel, a kid feels, if there's, adults, innocent people in the building, if there's, if I just don't know. Like, I don't know where the sympathy is, the sympathy that we as human beings should be carrying towards one another. It's super difficult, man. I think we'll start it off. I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about your situation today. Like, I don't know if it's kind of like too fresh, or we can kind of go into the situation that happened this past weekend. So,
Yeah, if you want to
Well, I would love to hear what you have to tell us and inform us about that, because I was obviously not going to come in. Like, I was just going to let you guys know, but I remembered everything you told us, and I would love for you to start it off, and that gives me a minute to just breathe it all in. Go ahead.
To breathe it on. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. So this happened on Thursday night. Me and Kandi, we had let our daughter go out to a birthday party. It was a simple birthday party. It was a Thursday night, super low key. The night before, they had mentioned it to me, and they were like, "Hey, can Jasmine go and and hang out?" It's all family members, like practically family of friends, and they're all going to celebrate the friend's 7th birthday. What is it? 7th birthday? They went to Dave and Buster's.
Nice.
So they went to Dave and Buster's on Thursday.
Diego, right?
Yeah, in San Diego on Thursday night. Everything was good, I guess. Like they had cake, dinner, and God, and it's one of those things. I mean, like, I don't know if it's something in the air or something that happens that we all feel like this gut feeling, right? So even that day, like earlier during the day, like, when I was like, because I was in here, I was like, okay, pues aprovechar. I don't know. I think we did a couple errands. We came back, Jazzy, still gone. And we're just like kind of running around the house, just doing our thing, right? And we were actually kind of excited because we were planning some things, some surprises that we have for the rest of the year and stuff like that. So we were like, there's this emotions going on in the household where we're just like super happy. And, I'm like checking the time, and it's kind of like 9:30, like almost 10, and I'm like, hey, where's Jazzy? Like, I'm like, hey, where is she? We're kind of on the computer and we're just hanging out. And, it's, for me, I'm like, it's kind of late, but I was just like, she's with family and stuff, and, it's cool. Like,
You don't want to be that dad.
out, nothing, so I'm just like, all right, cool, whatever's, comes like 11:30. 11:30, 11:40. I'm like, Kandi, can you call them? See
and
where
they
they're
hadn't
at?
texted you guys or anything?
I don't know if Kandi, did you? Yeah, I think Kandi texted them, but her phone was dead, so she texted them, and, like they were replying back and everything. But, just once they got to the house, everything kind of just changed, the mood changed. And I was like, what? Like, what's going on? And, the homegirl comes in, and, and my daughter, they're all excited. They're showing us the games and the stuff, like the prizes that they won and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And, before she leaves, she's like, oh, but there is one thing that I have to tell you. And I was like, and we were just like, what's up? And she was like, like right when we were leaving, she was like, nos estamos despidiendo de todos. We were like saying everybody goodbye, and we were right by the games and stuff, by like towards the end of the building. And, I was talking to a family member, and then she was like, it was just this weird feeling like they were just like, she was like, we got stopped. We were already on our way out, and we got stopped, and we were talking about church, and oh yeah, I want to go to yours, and this and that. So they're like giving each other this information about their church and where they go. And then she said off in the distance, she heard like a pop, and and then that one of her nephews or one of her relatives comes up, and she's like, hey, they're shooting out in the front. So that's when our friend looks to the side, and she looks over, and she sees this crowd of people running towards her. So there's this crowd
from the outside.
Yeah, from the outside, from
Lord.
the front of Dave and Buster's. She's, they're all running towards the back. And she said, she's like, that's when I grabbed your daughter. I grabbed my son. She's like, I had my other kid in my arms. It's like a 3-year-old. I don't know. I think 3-year-old. I think it is. And she's like, I just grabbed him, and I just booked it outside, and like we just went through the back door, She's like, thank God I saw where the exits were, and we just followed the crowd, And I was just like, holy shit, man, like, damn, like that.
It's like you live it with them. Like me listening to you, like I'm living it in my head with you. Like,
yeah, the way that she explained it to me, and I was just like, holy shit, like I was, the first thing to me was just like, man, like, I just, I hit myself in the head, I'm like, fuck, like this shit, my daughter's out there by herself, and, this thing happens to her, this happens, like out of my reach, out of my control. There's nothing on a Thursday, like this is just, and obviously, like kids shouldn't be out. There's a certain time, that shouldn't be out. But I mean, when you're with family and friends, you think it's cool, you te están cuidando,
taking her out,
and she, and the homegirl, she left, and she was with their mom too. So she left her mom in charge of the kids in the back, like in the back of the, like towards the exit, because they had all the exits were blocked, and she said that there's a shitload of cops coming in, so she had to run to the front with her man and get the car. And she said she didn't, everything sunk in until she like got in the car. She said she was trying to be really brave for the kids, to show that, that like that,
Yeah.
that everything was gonna be okay, and I was like, fuck. Yeah, and that's when she had like an anxiety attack in the car, and that's when it started sinking in. There's this moment in our lives when stuff like that happens, where we are selfish. We don't think about ourselves. We just think about everybody that's around us, and we make sure that everybody's safe, and that all these things happen. And yeah, man, I want to give her a big thank you, for damn saving my daughter's life. It's not even if a bullet, but lots of things could have happened. She could have got trampled on. She could have got stepped on. In that moment, she could have got lost. Who knows what could have happened to her? But it does put you in a perspective of like, God, man, there is no way of knowing cuándo te van a pasar las cosas, when something's gonna happen. There's no, you can have a gut feeling, but it's just like, fuck, is it just I ate something wrong during the day, or what the fuck? Or is it just something that's going on, or but también, like we talked to the homegirl, and she was like, yeah, I had kind of like a gut feeling, we were trying to leave right after dinner, and and she was like, my mom kind of did too, and and it's all these like like these emotions that go around us that we kind of don't pay attention. No, but
Or maybe we just don't listen.
or we don't listen. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but it's also like, it kind of makes you think like, fuck, like I don't want to just like, what am I supposed to do when I get a gut feeling? Am I just supposed to hunker down and just stay inside and not move a muscle? Like, you can't do that either, because you have to be able to live your life, and it's one of those things where, like, I mean, me and Kandi talked about it, and we were just like, man, like, I was like, man, I feel like shit. Like, I feel really bad. I feel like I wasn't there to protect my daughter. I feel like, like I failed her, like I wasn't there to comfort her through what happened. I don't even know what she's feeling or what it is, and for me it's like, damn, like you hear about this shit, like there's a shootout over here and there's things happening over there, but you never really think about it until like it happens to you. Like always like, damn, that's so far away, San Bernardino, or fuck, Columbus, or fuck wherever,
An
you know
Ariana concert.
an Ariana concert. It's like, oh yeah, it's so far away from me, but when it is like fucking practically 45 minutes away from you, and it's just like, we didn't really grasp it. I don't think I grasped it until the next day when I saw like the Facebook post and when I saw like what would really happen,
And
like you
the
waking
man
up.
that was killed.
Yeah, like
the
the
20-year-old.
yeah, he was like
man
20.
that was murdered.
He was killed. There was like gunshots on cars, so it wasn't just one bullet. Like it was like several bullets that were shot out into the cars, and it's just like, whether good or bad, whether they weren't supposed to be there or they were supposed to leave during dinner, or whether they were supposed to leave right then and there, it's like there's little things that happen that kind of just pull us away from maybe from danger or from what's really happening, what's going on, because she's like, I could have felt it. She's like, there was a reason why we didn't leave right in that instant. There's a reason why. There's a reason.
They were talking about church. That's like.
Oh, sorry.
That was.
I got the police scanner.
Oh, you got the police scanner? Damn, there you go. And so I was just like, damn, like it is sad, like, I mean, it puts you in a shitty position, like, like then I started thinking about like everything my parents have always told me, like, fuck, like, no, por eso no te dejamos salir, we always right next to you, don't ever leave my side, and it's just little things like that you do. Like, I think, like one of the things that I can stress that I want to encourage in my family is like, man, fuck this. Like, we can't be scared. We're not going to let like shit like this, like, bring us down. Like anything that happens, what we're going to do is we're going to get ready. And by getting ready, it means like going out to the shooting range, shooting off some guns, like knowing the sound, knowing what, like, what it sounds, para que no, so you don't panic, because when you panic, you lose focus, you lose control of everything that's going on. So, and I think that's probably like the best help, like, because we can go out and be like, block all the guns, stop all the knives, at the end of the day, like, all we're doing is, all the bad people are still going to have these, us, that we're blocking ourselves from not being able to have these weapons or be able to protect ourselves or our families. And by not being able to exercise yourself and your first right, your First Amendment and stuff like that, it's at the end of the day, or your Second Amendment, it's your Second Amendment. For you not being able to exercise that, I feel like, like everybody should, because if everybody has a gun, then it means it's more safer.
Yeah,
like, because you're not gonna fuck with you, I'm not gonna fuck with you, and I'm
no.
not, you know what I mean? But then, like, when you're stuck in situations like that, like, where it's in a public place and it's a setting where there's families, and it just sucks, because you can't control that. You can't control people's emotions, you can't control people's lifestyles, you can't control any of that stuff. Everybody takes their own decision, and if that person dies, if that person gets 100 years in jail, if that person well deserved, whoever like commits these crimes or does anything, like, I think for sure, like, the time, you do the crime is the time, that you have to pay. But, it's unfortunate that, like, that we're not able to, to handle ourselves right now, man. Like, it's like we're opening back up, everything's, like, coming alive, and, like the distress of life and things that are going on are taking the best of us. So, I just want to say, like, God bless, our homegirl and her family that was there, and took care of my daughter. It's really humbling, and, like, you feel like a fool, you feel like bad, and you're just like, God, like, I don't wish it upon anybody, like, I couldn't even imagine, like, those people's horrors, like, my daughter saw, like, people fucking running scared for their life. My daughter's gonna have that memory for the rest of her life. She told me, she's like, I saw people getting trampled, like, I saw people, like, falling. You know what I mean? So it's just like jumping on tables, throwing chairs. I don't even know what the fuck.
That's the thing. Like you said, we have to practice and like figure it out. Like another thing I was thinking when you were saying that is like practice on like going back to like learning how to walk, like hike and do stuff like that. Because if we have to book it, we got to be able to book it. You know, like the most Ezekiel can do is 3 miles. What am I gonna do after 3 miles? Gonna learn how to like carry him on my back or stuff like that. Like we have to be prepared, and I feel like having a gun would definitely make me feel a lot more safer, but at the same time it's like
if you're not carrying it or you're not carrying with anything, you know what I mean? It's difficult, you know, like you can say like, oh, well, I can fight a gun with a gun, but at the end of the day, like I'm not here to have a shootout with anybody, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, like if I have my gun, like I'll have it at my house or just, you know, somewhere where you know, because I mean you can't also just be carrying around a weapon like a fool.
And how do you know what I mean? Like when you need it
and when you do need it or don't. But I mean, I suggest everybody, you know, like parents, dads, at least carry a little pocket knife, a fucking blade in your pocket, you know, pepper spray, you know, shit like that, you know, because you don't, I mean, one day it can save your life. And
like for example, today I got off work, I was very like just tired, and I hit up my girl Jocelyn.
Pissed off.
I was pretty pissed off, so hit up Jocelyn because you know she's the girl to call. And I had to just kind of like throw it all out and just feel good, and I knew she always makes me feel better. So we hung up the call, and I'm leaving work. It's like 7:30 at night, and I'm just getting ready to we're like 7ish, ready to go home and then meet with you guys. I'm waiting in the light, waiting for it to be red, and next thing you know, on the left-hand side, like I'm driving, it was a guy. He didn't even seem homeless to me.
So is he walking by your car? Like was he walking in the red?
So it wasn't even like you know, there was another line of cars on the left-hand side to turn left. I was gonna go straight, so he was in between cars.
So it's coming by the Home Depot, like on that side, on the Home Depot.
Yeah, like Home Depot would be on my right-hand side. Left-hand side would be Pollo Loco. I'm waiting for it. So what'd you say, like
9th and West Valley Parkway?
And I'm minding my own business, doing my thing. I always have my fucking AC. Like no joke, I always have my AC. And of course, this time I didn't. My window was a little down, and then all I like see is like someone coming. So of course that kind of like, you know, makes you jumpy, and I just turn, and as he turns, like I see the hand go in, and of course that scares the fuck out of me. And next thing you know, he has a fucking knife. Like, what do you do? Honestly, I'm a little embarrassed to like admit, but I did go in a fucking panic mode. I did. All I remember was like I was honking. I wanted to just drive and get like people's attention. I'm sure I yelled and screamed or something, or maybe I didn't. I was just like in a panic mode. Like all I remember is like moving back because I was so afraid he was gonna like, I don't know. I've seen movies where they shank you and shit, or they just like slice your fucking, I don't know. And I've never been in a fight where I could see like, oh, them bring out their gun. Like I've never been gangster like that, you know, and I don't want to be gangster like that. And that shit scared the fuck out of me. And what I should have done is like what you guys suggested, call the police, make a police report. I mean, I made a police report like 2 hours later, but I was freaking out. It was the most scariest thing in the world. And hearing you tell me all that, it's like I can't be that. I cannot panic. If I would have had my little pocket knife in my boob, take it out and be like, nah, bitch, let me stab you. The fuck? What the fuck? This is my property.
Or just some pepper spray, you know, that you just throw it, you know, it just hurts somebody's eye, you know what I mean? It's just
something. And I did panic because I was like scared that he was gonna like open the door, and I was gonna like lock it. Like in my mind I was gonna lock it, but I was scared I was gonna unlock it.
Yeah,
and it was just like so
Oh
much chaos. Next thing you know, like I'm even shaking like talking about it, like as the light went green and there's a car in front of me, and of course, like I'm sure people noticed. They had to, because I was like,
that's insane. Like you're honking. I'm
like I'm sure I was screaming. I know. And as that light went and there was cars that went, I booked it. Like I just even felt like his hand kind of like.
Dude, you know what? We're gonna post that on. I think we should post a story on Facebook on crimes, and like you should find somebody that was there. Like probably be a witness, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's
if you want, I can post it for you. So
so it's not.
Because that's insane,
that's very
dude.
scary.
I can't even fucking believe like somebody would have the balls to do that shit, dude.
And he didn't look homeless.
Did he ask for money, or what did he say? Like what? Like
I don't know. So the cops asked me that, and I don't know.
It was just
in like
the thing is that you get in a trance, dude. Like when something like that happens, it's like the homegirl was talking about. Like she was like, I saw everything in slow motion. She was like, I turned around and I just saw people just fucking booking it like towards me all slow and shit. And then she's like, that's when I just grabbed both of the kids and I just had the other one in my hand and we just fucking flung out of there. And I was like, damn, that's fucking insane. When I was by myself,
I didn't have to worry about anybody.
So you're by yourself? Oh my God.
No, I don't know how she did it because I could barely obviously I guess you could say my only control was the car.
Yeah.
But I don't know how.
And that's another thing too, V, that I think a lot of the times, in situations like this, when you're coming out of your business, V, you have to keep an eye out on people that are around you. Yeah. The things that happen to a lot of people that own businesses, que los asaltan, pues, porque piensan que llevan dinero. They think that
Pero
people
no
have money.
Dinero.
But people,
and that's people think that. When it comes down to something like this, you have to always, check twice, lock your doors, make sure your doors are locked, and
just I'm out.
And like you said, and it is sometimes it's just like a little quick reminder, it's just what happened to us this weekend, it was just like a quick ponte trucha, wake up, you're losing your guard, you put them back up, motherfucker, because because this is what's happening around the world, and the world is everlasting, not changing. It's doing the same shit. People are gonna look for ways to hurt other people, no matter if it's them hurting another person that they hate, or even hurting people around them that they don't understand that are there, or even just causing harm to just one person.
And it's not even so much that, because I feel like a lot of people, it's not even hurting. I think it's just helping themselves.
Yeah.
So they don't even give two fucks. And I think that's what's scary, that there's so many people out there, they don't give a fuck. They don't. And it's as long as me. And it's no, we need to help and respect each other. You can't just go off. And I'm not kidding. He didn't look homeless. You can't go off and do that. What is he going to get? What has he done? I mean, you guys heard what you guys call it, the choppers. Mm-hmm. I mean, have they gotten calls like this before? Am I the only one, or has he been doing this before?
And that's why it's a good reason to be able to report this stuff. You know what I mean? It's because the fact pattern, and they can see where he's gonna strike next, or where's the areas that hang around with. Because say if there's 3 calls going around and it's in the same area, then they know that motherfucker's right there around there. So, but if it's in different areas, they know that guy's traveling or that he's on foot. You know what I mean? So it's just little things like that the police can know where he's at. They'll find them. They'll cover an area of fucking, of 5 miles, 10 miles in order for, to find these motherfuckers. So, I mean, shit, it's insane. And it's scary. It's scary that we have to live in this type of world where these things happen, and we have to be on our guard, and we have to be on the lookout. But it's also good for us too, because it keeps us up, and it keeps us thankful that we're alive, grateful that nobody else was in the car with us, maybe, grateful that nobody else in the family got hurt, like in the case of what happened to Jazzy this weekend. Things like that just like you said, be grateful that, nothing else happened, nothing bad happened from that. And it's just sad, man. I can't believe, I'm very sorry, V, that happened to you today, man. And I would have never imagined that this would be the reason why, you're kind of a little bit late. It's Escondido. I mean, you don't hear shit like that. People don't fucking run up on people's cars here. People don't fucking. You hear about gangsters. People fuck with people that are bad. People. If you're doing bad, you're doing bad. And
that
you deserve
shit
it.
Usually happens in the hood, not a commercial space
and
or in the street like that.
And another reason
it's
and that's another reason why we need to be able to put this on blast and tell people what's going on, and tell and be able to call the police and do shit and put reports, because that means that these motherfuckers have to get their shit more on lockdown with the bums, with people that are hanging out. What are they doing? Checking up on them and shit like that, because these are the streets that these people are living on. These are the streets. To us, the streets is the streets. To them, the streets is their home, and they're there to protect it, and they're there to fucking do whatever they can for their street. You know what I mean? So it's just at the end of the day, it's just you know, like you said, different mentalities. People don't give a fucks. People don't, you know, they only care about themselves. So, you know, we also have to make sure that we keep that in contact with ourselves too, and start you know, shit, take some self-defense classes, and, you know, like I said, let's go to the shooting range. Let's fucking go shoot some guns. Let's, you know, like part of that stuff that, you know, that prevents us, you know, like even CPR classes, classes. I know I've taken them. I know a little bit, but it's just like even just refreshing, and then like having like your kids around and being able for them to take a CPR class, like, so like things like that don't scare us, you know, because you know, like a second can change your life. You know, you can save a person's life, you can save your life, or, you know, somebody else's right next to you, and, you know, just being prepared and being able to react in a helpful way.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
and the CPR classes is good, because I noticed, like, with my son, like, I'm glad he wasn't there, but like if things like happen, he is the kind of person that, like, kind of like me, just like just gets in the mode, like, oh whoa, like a big pause. And like I think being around like all of that would help him, like, know, okay, if I ever choke, my mom knows, and like I don't panic, I'm good. Like, it's important. So I am definitely gonna look into that, get pepper sprays, and even a fucking knife. Anybody want to fuck with me?
Yeah.
Or a
No, I'm
taser.
kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh,
Dude,
you're taking
you
it.
can
Oh, a
get
taser.
little
A taser. Yeah, a little. I forgot about a
little
taser.
Yeah.
You know what? I would like that better.
Yeah, a taser is gonna be sick for you, because the
'cause
taser is gonna
then
be.
pepper spray, like, it'll affect you too. Like,
Oh,
you'll
yeah, if I
you'll
do it
feel
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and imagine if you just have it like in your cup holder, you're just able to go, like, reach over your neck and
Or,
just fucking like, and
I
just
just
turn
hope
it on.
nothing like that ever happens to you
Dude,
again,
fuck
and
that.
you will never have to use a taser or a gun or a pepper spray, but just in case.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, no, 100%. I'm gonna definitely get one. I have to.
And people stay
Yeah.
like, and people, it's, trust me, like they look at, you know, like people are cowards, you know, like if anybody that's going out there, they're not gonna do it to me. They're not gonna do it to a person that's in a, you know, like
Do you think he
a
was keeping
worker.
an eye on?
And that's another thing. So it's just like, it just depends on you know, like kind of, if I would have said if it was in your parking lot, maybe.
No.
But
Yeah,
I think if it would have happened in your parking lot of your work, then yeah, maybe he was keeping an eye on you. But I think since it kind of happened on the street, like in the light, I think he was just kind of just
I think
roaming
you
and
need
just
to
whoever
report
fucking had it.
to the management, because you've
Oh
reported
my God.
issues.
Yes, I have.
You need to
Yeah,
tell
and that's
them,
another one. You should.
because they're not doing anything about it. It's like you pay so much money to be there, and
I'm gonna actually.
Like,
See,
do
I'm
they-
not even like thinking straight.
do
because
they
it's
not
like,
have security, like in that shopping center?
I never seen a security.
I've
guard.
never seen a security there. They should.
And
They
it just
should.
you know, and because it is, you know, it's getting late, it's getting dark, you know, and shit like that, you know, it you know, you can't really prevent it. But I think if I would have seen somebody honking fuck out real quick, you know what I mean? Like I don't know what that.
Well, I don't know if I would have gone down, but I would have done
No,
something.
but
to call
you
the
do.
cops.
No, yeah, you do.
Something.
Yeah.
You call that person like, what's up? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's.
Well, yeah, if you're a
there's-
guy, absolutely.
you know, there's
do it.
things that as a civilian, as a citizen, like
Yeah.
we have the right, and we have, it's not even the right, but it's just like
The
it's
duty.
the
The
duty,
civil
man.
duty.
Like I think I was watching some video of some fucking like at the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and they had thrown like this fucking this carrito de hot
street
dogs.
vendor.
The street vendors, they had thrown it on the ground, and the guy's like picking it up with aluminum foil. I mean, I just kind of scroll through it, but you know, you see the video, you already know what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
Some fucking idiot that got mad at the vendor, fucking threw his cart on the ground, and there's a circle of people just fucking watching the guy picking it up. Like, how sad is that? Like, how fucking like what kind of empathy, or you know, you don't have any sympathy in your heart, or like, you know, no te da pena, no te da vergüenza, like that. These are the human beings that we fucking live around. You know what I mean? Like,
This is
these
our
are the
world.
this is the people that, you know, like, this is the people that rather fucking take out their phone and fucking record a street vendor fucking
Yeah.
picking up his food
Yeah.
that, you know, that was just thrown on the ground, than to be the person that fucking goes over there and fucking helps that fucking street vendor pick all that shit up. No matter what, if it's bad, it's going to the trash, dude. But still, dude, like I have that kind of heart. Like, I'm the type of person that will fucking, like, I see somebody fall, I fucking go and pick them up. If I see somebody, like, you know, I think one time I almost like got like a heart attack from fucking running down the hill to fucking help somebody push their car, you know, across the fucking light. But you know, it's shit like that I've always seen, you know. But it's just like, man, I would never stand around to just watch somebody belittle somebody because of their race, because of their gender, why? Because of they work in the streets, because of, you know what I mean? It's just like it's and it's ridiculous that this is the norm. This is the norm. The norm is not, hey, stop that. No, don't fucking do that. The norm is like, nah, fuck that. Let's film it. Da-da-da. And let's see, and then and you know who gets outraged? Facebook.
Yeah.
Instagram. Everybody's fucking posting it. Everybody's posting it. Everybody's going, oh yeah, yeah. Don't do shit when you're there. Don't do anything that needs to happen. You know, don't do anything productive there. But make sure you retweet it and when you see that post. Oh, I was there. I can't believe that shit. That shit was insane. Well, what good do you do now? Step the fuck up and do it right then and there. And I think, you know, and the society of cowards that is just fucking, that is bringing up on us, man. And it's sad. It's sad.
Like the basketball game at Coronado against Orange Glen.
Yep. See, so that's another thing that went viral. That shit went viral within like a night, you know. And what happened there was just fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's just sour people. You know what I mean? Sour people. You know, like
okay, I kind of did some digging and I went on their Instagram, and for a high school, they call it the Nato Boys, basketball.
Boys?
Yeah, like Coronado.
Oh, okay, Coronado.
And like I was on their Instagram. Obviously, they disabled a lot of their comments because they didn't want none of the smoke.
Of course.
And like they were like just like the posts, the music, like they used music with hella cuss words and like just like, you know, it's like rap music.
Oh, okay.
But it was just like, who is managing this page? Like, is it the students
or the school?
Like, it was just not appropriate for a high school, Instagram for whatever. And like they had a thing, like one of their captions was like, hell yeah. And I was like, what? How is this okay? Well, and like I'm telling you, the music, it had like curse words in it. And I don't know. Like I feel like things like this, I feel like they need to get all the smoke, because I feel like if it was another race and they would have done something like that, it would have like been all over the internet.
Oh yeah.
But
well, the thing
I feel
is,
like because it's Mexicans, it's kind of taking its sweet ass time to kind of get the publicity it should be getting.
Well, if you really think about it, I mean, like Latinos, like we've never been like the type that go like, fuck, like, come on, growing up, like we were called beaners, fucking wetbacks, fucking spics, fucking, you know, like all this shit that fucking, all these slur words and shit, and you know, like, I mean, it never faced me. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think it's because our parents.
Yeah, because our parents, we were thick. We were thick skin. You know what I mean? So, like, at the end of the day, like, I remember, like, you know, like, going, like, so, like, what the fuck? So, what if I'm a wetback? Damn right, my fucking back is sweaty from working this shit. You know, but it's like, at the end of the day, you know, it's just, but it is. It's these things that people that, like you said, there's no compassion. You know what I mean? Like, who does that shit? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like only people that are sore losers, people that don't know how to win. I know they won.
Like,
and that's
you won and
that's
you
like the
still
worstest thing. That's the worst thing that just made them look like just a shitty, like right then and there, like it just made them look like shitty people.
I was kind of going through the comments and someone said, I think we should take our lowriders, our barbecues down to Coronado because they got some pretty beaches. They just need to learn the culture a little bit.
Yeah, see? So, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like, los güeros are the first ones to grab a taco de asada. You know what I mean?
I think they threw the good tortillas, too. They look like the fucking...
They were the ones from Walmart.
They're from the white corn tortillas.
Yeah, that's the ones that...
They couldn't even get the good tortillas.
But it's just insane. But like you said, you know, like, there's just this planning thing. You know what I mean? Like, they knew that they were... So I think what happened is they were like, okay, so we're going to take the tortillas. If we fucking lose, we're going to throw them the tortillas. You know what I mean? So if we lose, we're throwing, you know, they were just sour like that. because this is shit that you're planning. You didn't just show up to the basketball game
Yeah.
and these are leftover tortillas from your lunch. You know what I mean? No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is shit that was just like, oh,
Where they already knew they were
you know,
gonna lose.
haha,
Yeah.
this shit's gonna, you know, they felt like they were gonna lose, and look at that.
According to some people, apparently throughout the game it was like a lot of like hostility.
Hostility.
And that the refs nor the administration like try to control the crowds or the parents or the faculty. I don't know, whoever the fuck was there. So I mean, it was just kind of they just didn't handle the situation properly from the beginning, and it led to all that hostility, and then they felt comfortable enough to throw tortillas.
Wow.
That shit's fucking. I think it's funny, but it's fucked up at the same time. Cause you know what I mean. Like, I mean, as Latinos, Mexicans, bro, we shrug it off. We don't like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
No,
but it is like
it's like a school thing.
It's a school thing, and it's like a taunting thing. You know what I mean? It's like a thing that happens in, you know, if basketball games. Like sometimes the parents are even the worst. You know what I mean? Sometimes if I wouldn't be surprised if it was the parents that fucking went to go buy the tortillas and shit. You know what I mean? And we're like, here, mom, you tú te las quedas, and then I'll get them after the game. Shit like that. You know what I mean? Because it's. You know, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's just like whether it's the coach that was the one that egged them on, the fucking parents, or, you know, just the students being fucking assholes, and that's what it is. Then fucking then so be it. Then they get what they get the heat. They get they get the fucking smoke. You know what I mean? And that's what's gonna happen to them. You know, little things like that. People don't forget, man. The internet don't forget. You know what I mean? Instagram. Facebook, don't forget. Shit like that. It's just, and that's another thing that I've been reading on too, like that I've been seeing a lot is like, what are the repercussions that we as kids like are posting nowadays? You know, like even as we're younger, like our kids are growing, you know, they're gonna start having like a Facebook soon or an Instagram. But before, you know, when we were younger, when we were in high school, like, ¿quién nos salvaba? Our parents. You know, you said something stupid in school, you got suspended, your parents would go and they fucking stick up their face,
their neck
right
for
there.
you.
And, you know, you got your parents fucking, you know, también. And why does your son act like this? I don't know. He's a fucking idiot. Look at him, you know. and, you know, and that saved you. And that was the excuse. But now, dude, you fucking write something stupid on Instagram, on your Twitter, something. That shit's going to come back and haunt you for your whole life. You know, either jobs, security, or fucking family, or, you know, whatever it is that you want, and right when you want it is gonna happen. And that's the sad part about it, because, you know, these kids are doing this type of shit to their own future. You know, they're not doing it to hurt. They're hurting themselves. Sometimes we think that we're hurting other people and we're hurting their feelings, but at the end of the day, you're just hurting yourself. This is the thing that happens with us, that we don't think that it's hurting ourselves, our vision, our people, how they see us. You know, and that's what's going to happen to these kids, you know. Yeah. And maybe not, because their parents might pay them off through college and, you know, get them a good job. But
even like that, there'll be broken people, broken kids.
Yes.
Even just like myself, I would consider myself a broken human. I am a child mimicking to be an adult. Like, being an adult is the hardest thing in the world.
Child, that was cool. An adult, what is a child mimicking?
I'm a child mimicking to be an adult.
Yes,
like
that is.
You're trying to parent yourself.
I am, and it's really hard. And then having the kind of world we live in, and even close people to you, they're freaking mean. And it doesn't matter whether it's family or not, like we just said. Like, they're the ones who like make our skin tougher.
Yes.
At Ezekiel's birthday party, my cousin said something like, I don't know, she said something like, oh, our family like got us like strong like that, you know, like nothing can
like thick
hurt
skin.
me.
Yeah,
Something like that. And I wanted to tell her and let her know, like, no, that's a trauma.
Yeah.
That's the traumas that our family made us go through, thinking like, oh, I'm just being mean, but I'm like, you know, I love you.
Yeah.
Like, no, bitch. No, you may be my aunt, my uncle, my mom, my whatever, my own even fucking grandma. And it's not okay. It's a trauma. We shouldn't do traumas like that. Or even friends, like saying like rude stuff or mean, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, never mind, I miss you, I love you. Like, nah, bitch, you're mean. Like I don't need mean people.
Or if you're gonna be mean, then just fucking be mean, and then just be with it. You know what I mean? But don't go around and don't go around apologizing for it. Because then, like you said, like it just, I mean, I remember getting taunted all the time when I was like a little kid, but it was just always like, it's because we love you, you know. And then like now I look at it and I'm like, fuck, I do talk shit sometimes, and I'm like, I try not to talk the same shit to Jazzy, like, you know what I mean, like things like that, like you say, like it's shit that does hurt, and that's one of the things that, you know, was kind of brought onto me. It's like, you know, those are like you said, is there traumas that you haven't let go from a little kid. So like,
or even your own family generations, of 7 generations,
or they told you like you can't do this, so then like you grow up thinking like your whole life that you can't do this, or you're not good enough, so you're always double guessing yourself, doubting yourself,
when in reality you could be that
you
and
can
so much
be,
more.
yeah. So that's what happens, but you don't learn to let go of those traumas and stuff like that, man. Well, sheesh, I'm sorry, B, that happened to you today, man.
I'm sorry too.
I give you the biggest hugs. Thank you. I'm sorry. Like,
No,
that's
it's okay.
that's insane, dude.
We learn, and I'm just I'm glad you were able, Jocelyn, to answer my call, because there was like so much other stuff going on, and I was able to just like let that go, because imagine if I was holding on to all that and then that happened, like I don't know, like what could have happened. But it is a reminder for everyone who's listening or watching to just,
especially ladies, please. Ladies.
Especially ladies. And then here at the salon, like I love where we work, because nobody can come in unless we buzz you in.
Buzz you in,
or but I mean, who cares if you can't come in? They're gonna wait until we come out, and then what? You know, that's and really scary.
There's people, you know, I mean, there's sick people out there, there's people that stalk, and there's people that, you know, like are gonna go through anything to get to you, to whoever it is, you know what I mean? And I think it's the era of information, the era of pictures, the era of like, you know, just showing yourself off, and even just being successful too. Sometimes, you know, that brings it too, you know, just being yourself, being, you know, just who you are, brings a lot of negativity and a lot of fucking, you know. So real. I mean, and that's just how it is, you know. Like, it's like people see you doing good, and, you know, maybe that guy was attracted to you, saying like, but it's just like something pulled him towards you, like was like, damn, this person is too happy or too, you know what I mean? Like, it's those energies, like you say, like we're all energy, and we're all like, we're attracted to somebody by something, you know what I mean? Whether it's like, oh, I like you because of your energy, because of your vibes, and you're doing good. It's the same thing. Somebody in a dark place can see somebody fucking shining from so far away and be like, damn, I want to hurt that person because that person's fucking shining too much, you know? And then, like you said, I don't even know if that guy wanted money.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? Fucking grab my wallet? Just fucking start throwing money at him? Like, what the fuck, you know? Like, there's,
that's true. What do you do?
Like, you have people that are doing that type of shit are not in their right mind, and have not thought things through. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, what are you gonna do with somebody that's fucking right there? What, he's gonna give you your fucking, throw your purse at him or what? You know what I mean? So it's just like shit like that people are willing to risk their life, risk their freedom for fucking $10 that he might find in your purse. You know what I mean? And that sucks. Or maybe 100, say big fucking,
or maybe nothing, and he just like, I don't know, shanks me or whatever. I don't even know the right word, but like, what if he would have just hurt me? Like, it's that pleasure that they get, or what? Like, it's a crazy world where I would even believe that they would get more pleasure out of hurting someone than coming up with $100.
Yes. No, and that's super true, girl. Like, I mean, there's all kinds of pleasures, all kinds of sick people, all kinds of, you know, even good people. But it's just we have to stay sharp. You know, we can't let our guard down. I think like this is, if this might be the title of the show, is like, don't let your guard down, you know. And because as you can see, it can happen to us. Like, look at us, like we're fucking 30 years old, almost 30, you know, going and you know, we think we got everything figured out, and we're going on about our way in a busy life schedule, because I can't tell you who fucking, you know, like who drove behind me today. I can't tell you how I left work. I can't tell you when I went to the liquor store who followed me. I can't, you know what I mean? So it's just like shit like that we do not really think about like all day. You know what I mean?
You know what? I have a homegirl, Jackie. She's fucking badass. You just reminded me of her. I've kicked it with her like so many times, and every time we hang out, especially when we go out like at night, and one time I called her out because I thought it was weird. She checks out the whole fucking place. She checks out the whole fucking place.
Yes, of course.
The exits, the people, like sometimes like that day that I called her out on it because I felt like she was being like paranoid. I saw her paranoid, and I was like, and she's like, nah. She's like, I'm just keeping an eye on everything. You just better be safe than sorry. She always does that, and now, fuck, Jackie, I'm about to do that shit too.
Look, she remembered where all the exits were. Like, we have to be thinking about these things every time we go out. Like, there's no doubt about it. You have to be prepared. I always looking at my rearview mirror, my side view mirror. I'm always trying to see like, oh, did someone follow me? Always, always. Like,
really?
always.
Wow.
I'm always looking at my mirrors all the time.
And that's the
Wow.
thing about, like, I mean, I just don't want to say, like, like, happens when you're out in public, when you're out in, like, the vision of people, like, people see you, like, people, and that's just anybody. It can be anybody, and a sick person. I was listening to the KPBS. I listened to it on my radio in my car, and they were talking about the Orlando shooting, and it's been, like, I think 5 years. I think it's been about 4 or 5 years. I think that's what they're talking about. So it's been 5 years since the Orlando shooter, and they were interviewing one of the survivors. So he was talking about how, like, how scared he was that day, and how, I think he said he got a tattoo of one of his friends because, like, he said hey to him but never said bye. And because, like, as he was, like, walking into the bathroom, he was walking out, and, he's like, it was one of those moments where it's just like, hey Fred, like, like, what's up, long time no see, I'll see you when I come back out. And, gave him, a kiss on the cheek, and then fucking went in the bathroom. And that's when the shooter came in. And after that, that's when they did the whole thing. And, and after that, like, like, that's when the shooting started. And he talked about how he was, like, on the floor, like, just pretending to be dead. And the shooter walked in, and he was like, he had to pretend to be dead and, like, dead and shit. So, like, he's actually, like, a survivor. Like, what? That shit was fucking insane.
You said he went to the bathroom. Because
the shooter was, like, shooting, like, spraying everybody. Like, because that Orlando shooter was, like, spraying everybody in the nightclub and shit. So, like, I think, like, when people were dead inside the bathroom, like, he like, ducked down and shit and hid it, like, under the bodies, or, like, trying to, like, pretend that he was dead too. And that's when the shooter walked into the bathroom. And then he said that when like, the police officer came in, he said that the officer was actually, like, a vet from Iraq, from the Iraq war, and that he went up to him. He's like, "Soldier, are you okay? Are you okay?" And the guy was actually going through, like, a PTSD from Iraq, and that's why he called him soldier. And it's just like, damn, like, so many, like, things that go on, like, in everybody's different perspective and mind, and everybody sees things. Sometimes that we panic with one thing and panic with another, and like, we don't have time to think. But sometimes even just thinking quick and being on your toes is what's going to be able to save you.
And honestly, I think fighting your fear is the biggest thing.
Yeah. And one of the things that like, they ask him, like, hey, so, like, the PBS reporter asked him, like, hey, are you afraid to go out to the nightclubs, or do you choose not to go out to the nightclubs anymore? And he was like, no. He's like, I refuse to let that experience kill my fun. He's like, I still go out, I still go and have fun, but, like you said, like your homegirl Jackie, fucking scope out all the exits, make sure I know who the fuck's in here. They have a gun, can they carry something in there? And it's just like, those things that traumatize you, and they kind of just go into the whole the whole perspective of just, like, just staying awake, staying alert. And so hopefully we can, like, get through this stuff. And I know we will. I know you guys, you're very strong, B. Like, to be honest, I'm surprised you're here. Thank you for being here. Like,
I feel like I had to.
Yeah. Thank you. Like, thank you for fucking coming out. That's intense.
With the whole thing of Jasmine, I felt like I had to be here.
Yes.
Like, even, like, going home, like, the whole other things and stuff that happened, like, I felt like I had to. And that's when Jocelyn was like, oh, are you gonna take Ezekiel? And I was like, no, I'm not. Remember, I was like, nah, I'm good,
Yeah.
And then I remember just texting her, like, bring Caleb. And then she's like, oh, do you want me to get you food too? Like, being all cute. And I was like, yeah, sure. But I was just like, I knew I had to come here and use my voice, and I'm glad I did, because I hadn't even filed a police report. I was just, like, in such shock, or I guess I wasn't even making the right decisions or anything. And really, this is the first time it's ever happened to me.
Yeah, of course.
My nickname was Fresita, which, like, I didn't know none of this, like, hood stuff. So, like, this is probably, like, the craziest shit that's ever happened to me. And I do not want to be part of it, but I am part of it. So what am I going to do? Go get that taser gun? I'm about to go get everything.
Yeah, like, fuck yeah. Stock up your car. But, I mean, if it's for everybody, stay safe out there. Like,
Please.
take some self-defense classes, like go shoot out some guns, like fuck, it's because it's insane. It's the world that we're living in, and then this is where we're at,
It's
and
just getting closer and closer to home.
yeah, and we have to be ready for this stuff and be ready to take action and take control of our lifestyle and our life, and
for ourselves and our kids.
yeah, because
our
I mean, like
future.
you said, thank God you didn't have your son in there, and I think that would have been even more scary. I don't fuck.
Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah.
that trauma, dude.
Or
Imagine
my
the
kid
trauma.
yelling, I
Yeah,
think that would have just knocked me.
Yeah.
I would have probably unlocked the door. I mean, I don't even know. Like so God is good, and I'm just really thankful that I'm able to have a voice here, like on SIP. And honestly, like SIP to me has helped me in so many ways, and I feel like this is another one. Like I was able to speak about it when before coming here I was like crying, and then when I like told you guys I kind of like wanted to cry, and now hearing this whole thing I'm like, okay, yeah, you can cry, bitch, but you got to get your shit together. Like, what do we need to do? Like, boom, like there's steps, and we got to get prepared. I just started going hiking, which by the way I'm like so sore, but why did I start hiking? And I made my son. I made him because he hates hiking, as he says. I made him go because I need him to get prepared, not only for soccer but for life. And this right here,
Yes.
hell yeah, con más ganas. Like
Yes.
we got to get our kids prepared and ready, and so we don't go into panic mode and we handle.
yeah.
So
Take those situations like a champ, man. Fuck.
yes, stay safe, people.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. I know this is probably kind of not the content you
This is
guys
not.
are
No,
used
this
to
is
from us,
fuck.
but
This is the.
A, it's real life.
But even the system, that's why people are going fucking crazy, because the system's so fucking broken. But we got to get our shit together. We are
Yeah.
getting our system.
We as human beings, as each other's neighbors, as the person that's right next to you guys, remember that what we talked about today, the fact that if you see something, don't just stand there and be the bystander. Report it. Don't your phone and you posting it later on Instagram is
That
not gonna
doesn't work.
do anybody fucking no good, no justice, dude. Fucking take action in that moment, in that instant, and fucking and take control, man. Take control of the situation. And if you are one of those persons that takes control, man, big ups to you.
Thank
No
you.
matter si te parten la madre, porque a veces también cuando,
Yeah.
when I was a little kid también, pues te va a tocar los madrazos así también si andas ahí. And I think that's another reason why people don't get in.
Yes.
People don't get in because they're like,
Yes.
fuck, then this guy's gonna fuck me up, man. But you stood up, motherfucker.
Yeah, but if
You
you have a
stood up-
taser gun,
Yeah, you
it's
stood up
easy.
to your bully. You stood up to another bully,
Yeah.
the person that, it's just like in school, but it's in the streets. And just because there's not a teacher that you can go and tell doesn't mean that you're not going to do anything about it. This is the
Yeah.
same shit.
True, just harder.
So
I was a good girl in school, so I had no trials. These are my trials right now.
Oh, no, fuck no. So, yeah, and we're going to put that on Escondido Friends, and we're going to see if we can find some witnesses that might have witnessed to
That'd be
what happened to
crazy.
you. And
I
we need to
wonder-
find that person.
or
Hopefully
even,
that
like,
person gets
I'm gonna
gets
go
found.
around and ask for, like, you know how they have like those cameras.
They should
and
have
stuff?
cameras around there,
They
too.
do
There's a
have
bank
a
right
there.
camera.
Yeah.
They do have a camera on that light.
Okay.
So-
Yeah. So thank you guys for listening.
Thank you
Love
guys for listening, man. Thank you
We'll
guys.
Peace.
see you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks. Peace out.
Peace.
Bye.